what's your idea of a perfect vacation?
Getting your tan on the beach in Costa Rica?
Backpacking through Europe?
Or even sitting on a cruise to Hawaii?
Instead of the boring usual, why not take a trip through the human body? So put on your anti-acid suits because this could get messy.
We're going through the digestive system. You start off here in the mouth, where all food you eat is chewed and swished around by the tongue mixed with saliva, turning the food into what we call bolus. The bolus is pushed to the back of the throat to go through peristalsis in the esophagus. Now hold on, because we're about to drop into the stomach where we can find all chewed up food that has been swallowed and is now ready to be transported into the small intestine. In the small intestine, there are small tube-like structures called villi. The villi are what absorbs vitamins and minerals and send them through veins to reach other parts of the body. Once the food is free of nutrients, it is now considered waste.
That smells.
It is then transported into the large intestine, or also known as the colon. The waste is then extracted of all water still in the waste. Then the waste expelled from the anus. It's going to be dark in there, and remember, safety first.
So follow us into the respiratory system. This part of the tour begins in the nasal cavity. The air passes through the pharynx, which is located behind the nose. After the air passes through the pharynx, it then travels past the larynx, or also known as the voice box, where all your vocal cords are located. After passing the larynx, we then travel towards the trachea. The trachea is a long tube, also known as the windpipe. After traveling down the windpipe, we will visit the separation in the trachea called the bronchi. These bronchi split off into two areas called the lungs. Now this is where it all happens. The lungs are filled with little branches called bronchioles. At the end of each bronchiole, there is a grape-like cluster of structures called alveoli. At the alveoli, we will witness diffusion between the alveoli and the tiny veins called capillaries. The capillaries are the smallest type of vein, and the diffusion is the oxygen and carbon dioxide being transferred. The oxygen comes into the blood, and the carbon dioxide is released from the blood to be expelled from the body through exhalation. The oxygen being inhaled into the body goes to the heart, where we begin the circulatory system tour. One of the really cool parts about this adventure is that you get to dive into the circulatory system.
Let's dive in.
Your heart is really a muscle. It's located a little to the left of the middle of your chest, and it's about the size of your fist. There are a lot of muscles all over your body, in your arms, in your legs, your back, even in your behind. The heart sends blood around your body. The blood provides your body with oxygen and nutrients it needs. It also carries away waste. Your heart is a sort of like a pump, or two pumps in one. The right side of your heart receives blood from the body and pumps it to the lungs. The components of this side are the right ventricle, the right atrium, and the pulmonary vein. The blood that has no oxygen is transported into the right atrium. A valve then lets the blood pass into the right ventricle. From the right ventricle it is moved into the pulmonary vein. The pulmonary vein brings the blood to the lungs to receive oxygenated blood and brings it back into the left atrium. The left atrium then contracts, forcing the blood to pass through a valve into the left ventricle. The left ventricle contracts, causing the blood to be squirted into the largest artery in the body called the aorta. The aorta is the first highway for the blood to go out into the body and then the whole system over again. Before each beat, your heart fills with blood. Then its muscle contracts to squirt the blood along. When the heart contracts, it squeezes. Try squeezing your hand into a fist. That's sort of like what your heart does so it can squirt out the blood. Your heart does this all day and all night.
I'm a white blood cell, hunting viruses.
The immune system consists of 3 different parts: the white blood cells, the red blood cells, and the platelets. The white blood cells are what attack the intruding viruses by using antibodies. Red blood cells help clot scabs. Platelets are what help clot scabs as well. Without clotting, any little cut could cause us to bleed to death. Our world is filled with viruses and germs. Without our immune system, we would not be able to function. Before we move on, I just need to get clearance from the nervous center because we've been having a lot of renovations going on.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. This section's closed. We're still in renovations. Power's out.
Okay, I think I got it. Bring me an extension.
I got it. The nervous system starts with the brain. It sends out electrical impulses throughout the body that controls all body functions and movement. There are also neurons inside of the brain and spinal cord. Neurons are what transport the different messages to the different parts of the body. Another important part of the nervous system is the spinal cord. The spinal cord controls all the movements of the peripheral body, such as the arms and the legs.
Building up the calcium.
On this tour, you will learn that there are 206 different bones in the human body. 4 basic shapes: long bones, short bones, flat bones, and irregular bones. Attached to the bones are muscles, which enable us to move our body. There are 640 muscles in the human body, such as occipital muscles, contractible muscles, and elastic muscles. You will also learn about the joints. Joints are what connect our bones together, such as elbows or even knees. And that's our video. I hope you learned